Welcome to the Data Integrity Suite. I'm excited to be sharing today Precisely's approach to providing trustworthy data across an organization. Now, throughout our demo today, I'll be talking about addresses, and in particular, bad ones. Bad addresses can be expensive for a company and frustrating for customers. So for our demo today, let's say that I'm a company selling items online, and I need to make sure that all of my deliveries are accurate, they're going to the right place, they're consistent, I have standardization around my customer and order information, and has context. What kind of building is this order being delivered to? Right now, we're on the Data Integrity Suite homepage. From here, we can easily and intuitively go anywhere in the suite with these homepage cards. But for today, the first thing that I'll need to do is connect to my data. And to do that, we'll go into our configuration panel, which is a part of the suite foundation. Like Chris said, we've enhanced the foundation of our suite to encompass connectors, agents, a catalog, intelligence, workflow, security, and administration, helping simplify and streamline the journey towards data integrity without sacrificing functionality or security. With the Data Integrity Suite, we can easily connect to both on-premises and cloud data sources. Here, I'd like to connect to some of my data that resides in Snowflake. All I need to do is select Add Data Source, select my data source type, and then put in the credentials associated with this data source. Once I've entered in credentials and connected, the suite will automatically detect available schemas. These define how the data is organized within my source. I can now select the schemas I'd like to catalog the metadata for. Once we connect to and catalog our data, all of these connections will be reusable across the suite, meaning that you'll have to connect to your data once and then seamlessly be able to integrate, govern, observe, enrich, and standardize your data all from the suite foundation. When we catalog our data, we run what's called data discovery. Data discovery is a process that allows me to catalog my metadata and score my data with both user-defined and out-of-the-box rules, meaning that I can instantly understand the quality of my data just by taking a look at the data catalog. In my data catalog, I can see that the discovery process has started to provide insight into the quality of our data. Here, for the purposes of this demo, I've already set up a few user-defined rules. With user-defined data catalog rules, my team can easily decide what good data looks like in our catalog. You can see here that we've created a data quality rule titled zip code. By clicking into it, we can see how we defined that rule under past conditions, scoring bands, and what fields it's been applied to. From here, we can see how this score applies to the individual field and rolls up to the associated table, schema, database, and overall data source. Now, while looking at this, we notice that our zip code score really isn't where we'd want it to be, so we're going to want to go ahead and remediate that. From here, we can go directly from this table in the catalog and start to build a data quality pipeline. The pipeline builder is a part of the workflow component of the Data Integrity Foundation. It orchestrates data integrity processes and pipelines across the entire suite. It allows us to design, manage, and automate tasks all from a centralized location. Oftentimes, our use cases around data integrity don't fit into neat boxes, and solving for these issues, like our address data, requires us to work throughout multiple facets of the suite. And this is a really large part of the value of the Data Integrity Suite. We recognize that most of our customers' use cases won't be solved by just a data quality, catalog, governance, or integration tool, but rather a solution that can grow and evolve with you as your use cases do. Once in the pipeline builder here, we'll notice a sample of our data and individual profiles of our columns. We're also able to see that the suite has automatically assigned entities to some of our fields. This allows us to work more intuitively on our data. Here, we'll be able to verify what changes need to be made to our data before we begin working on it. Like Chris mentioned earlier, we've strategically incorporated artificial intelligence throughout the suite. One example is here in data quality. We offer intelligent suggestions to help enhance the user experience and reduce time to value by making it easy to understand the next best step in your data quality pipeline. Here, I see that the Data Integrity Suite has suggested I parse my phone number. By selecting this step, I can easily verify the phone number, which can help in the case of verifying an address on delivery, for example. Now, speaking of addresses, we can use the suite to verify and geocode our address data. And what's so incredible about the suite is the address intelligence from Precisely's rich background in geoaddressing. And we make it simple. All we have to do is look for the verify and geocode address operator, select our operation type if we'd like to verify the address, geocode it, or both, and then map our fields. From here, we can preview this operation, and on the left-hand side in blue, you'll see our original address data. You'll notice our zip codes here. We're missing a few zip codes. Some of them are incorrect clearly, and some have a pound sign in front of them. If we navigate over into our step preview here, we'll be able to see that our data has been verified, geocoded, and standardized. In particular, you'll notice our zip codes. They've also been standardized, and we've added a +4 for enhanced accuracy. Now, on the very last column here, we'll see what's called a Precisely ID. Our Precisely ID technology is incredibly powerful, and it serves as a unique identifier for your addresses. This allows us to easily enrich and add context to your data. From here, we can select the Enrich operator, and then select any relevant data sets we'd like to use to add more context to our data. So since we're working with an address data set today to ensure accurate deliveries, it can be really useful to have information around the building type. Is this going to a single-family home? Is this going to a condo, an apartment? We can also look for the building name to add more context into this delivery here. So we just select these fields, save, and then they're added to our data set. Once I'm satisfied with my data quality pipeline, the Data Integrity Suite will automatically create a pipeline engine that runs where the data resides on a schedule you define. And what this means for your data and its security is that it never leaves the source environment. The only interactions the suite has with your data is with the metadata and then a configurable sample of your data if you choose. In this case, we're working with a table in Snowflake, but if you're connecting to an on-premises data source, we utilize a unique agent architecture with the Data Integrity Suite. The agent sits on premises where your data resides and shares the appropriate metadata back to the suite. Now, once I have my data in a state that's accurate, it's consistent, and it has context around it, the final thing that I'll want to do here today is make sure that my data stays that way. And to do that, I'll use data observability. Data observability looks for patterns and trends in my data profiles over time and alerts me if anything falls outside of that expected range. For example, we can set up an observer by selecting a dataset from our catalog, which is a part of the foundation of our suite. After that, we'll configure alerts based off of what notifications we'd like to receive around the data. These alerts can be configured around the volume, freshness, and schema of our data, or using data drift, which looks for changes in things like your min, max, and average values. This proactively alerts us as our data changes in the underlying source before it can impact our processes related to that data. We'll run these observers on a schedule and send out alerts via email, or we can see the alerts on this homepage here. So with that, we've been able to catalog our data using an enhanced foundation, understand the quality of our address data, then we verified, geocoded, and enriched our data, adding context and value to it, and then finally, we ensured that our data remained high quality over time with observability. And that's just a snippet of the Data Integrity Suite. We also offer governance and spatial analytics capabilities to help manage and visualize your data.